Hopefully this will give you a quite a useful tactic to approach people who are always negative and they are problem filled and solution empty. And that can be quite frustrating if you feel you can help the person. We are faced with someone who's talking quite negatively, and for everything we say that's positive or somehow contrary to that point of view or offers a different perspective, they shut it down with either more negativity from that particular perspective or some fresh negativity they've been brewing on and they add on to it. So you may find there's people you talk to and they say, oh, it's an awful day, and you say, well, no, it's lovely and sunny, what's the problem? Oh, well, my daughter's upset with me. Oh, well, that's okay because, she'll calm down. Oh, no, but also it's the cars. There's always something else to go to. So there's always something, additional thing to gravitate back towards some negativity, or at least some not very useful thinking, not very optimistic thinking. And sometimes as people, we want to be able to kind of help those people to come through and feel happier, quite simply put. And it can feel like a challenge if we are often always bringing back some sort of more positive way to see it. So how do we cope with this? And what can we do? When we come at someone directly, if you imagine physically walking at someone, sometimes that can seem a little imposing, and sometimes you're kind of crowding into their personal space. When we come at someone, maybe this is the best way to do it, at someone in this direction, they can go back on the defense, they can push back. And we can keep on coming with the positive, and they'll push back with the negative. We have this kind of attrition, no one's moving. And we want to keep on showing them the good stuff, and they've got to say, well, look, you're not seeing all the bad stuff I'm seeing as well. The way to manage that isn't to carry on doing the same positive thing, hoping to overwhelm them, because that often doesn't work, and probably this is where it's familiar for you. Don't go this way. Instead, go this way. Okay, you're coming onto the side. Rather than the opposing point of view, I'm going to try from the side. If I stand next to you, looking in your direction, we have a greater connection. I mean, physically, if you were to do it, we're looking at the same point. We have a physiological connection. We're looking in the same direction, shoulder to shoulder. If I'm opposing you, it's coming at you, head to head, or body to body. So turn and face in the direction they're facing, and looking where they're looking. Start with that point. Now, how does that translate into reality? If you're on a phone call, or even by text, which is not uncommon, how do we align? This is how we're going to do it. We agree. We take their point of view. Okay? We won't keep on throwing them more of the good stuff, or the positives, or the love, or the optimistic. We start to agree with them, saying, yeah, you're right. That's a bit crap, that is. That's a pretty difficult situation to be in. Now, even when I'm saying this, I'm sure you're going to go back into your personal history and think, oh, I remember times I've done that, and that person's gone, yeah, it's really awful, and they've kind of begun to communicate, begun to share a bit more. So this is hopefully familiar, but I'm giving more of the pattern, the behaviour, the tactic behind it. From this, trying to overwhelm them with love and kind of make them feel good, come around to the side. Agreement, start with that, say, yeah, it's really shit. And you'll say, I don't know how you're handling it. And I'll go, yeah, I don't know how I'm handling it either. Wow, you must be really strong. Well, I don't know, but I guess so. Alignment is far more useful for you to get someone out of where they are to at least a more useful, happier, more creative space. So have a go at that. Now, if you are comfortable with that and that feels good for you, and you can get that alignment, and you can get saying, start with the word just simply, yes, you're right. Just start with that. Yes, you're right. It's simply you aligning yourself with the person. Notice how they change. Leave it at that and try it out. If you want to go to another stage, to another level, you work on that to the next point, which is to continue to the agreement, but then you're beginning to turn them. It's like a large ship, very slowly, degree by degree. You're going to look to turn the conversation into a slightly more positive one, not to kind of get rid of how they're seeing it, but how to steer them so they can see some more things. Okay, I always liken it to a buffet bar. Imagine their negative state is one where they're seeing just the breadsticks and tomatoes, but you can see the pasta and the potatoes and everything else is there. You're opening the light upon the whole buffet for them by starting with the agreement and then saying, yes, you're absolutely right, that must have been really difficult. And going, yeah, it was really difficult, it was a really awful situation. Wow, you're a really strong person to cope with that. And they go, yeah, guess I am. Hopefully those few words give you an example where we've taken something which is difficult, but begun to support and reinforce the person's positive outlook on themselves by saying, actually, you're really strong. Wow, shit, I am. About saying things like that, or along the lines of, I don't know how you're coping with that. That takes a lot of effort. It must be very draining. You must need to rest and take some time out. And you can say that. You can say, yes, that must be really difficult for you. I can't. If it was me, I wouldn't know how to handle that. In fact, I don't think I could handle it. You create a comparison. That person now thinks that maybe they're doing better than everyone else, which can be part of the negative criticism we have in our heads. So you say, yeah, gosh, I couldn't do that. No way. I would be crumbling by now. So your way, so how you're handling it is better than I would ever handle it. This is how we're slowly steering the conversation. The final part of that, if that was all comfortable for you, the next stage you can go to, within this video at least, is then turning a full circle, saying, gosh, how strong are you now? God, that's amazing how strong you are, better than I am at handling that situation. I mean, how are you coping with it? What are you doing for yourself? And from there you go, so what can you do about this? What can we do to change this maybe? Whereas before we were facing this way and there was no movement, there was solidity from both sides really. We took them to being aligned, to the point of being more positive, the point of them coming up, allowing them, not us, but allowing them to come up with some creative solutions they maybe have not thought of because they've been entrenched in their thinking because you've been pushing with the positivity. They may come along with some ideas. So you can say to them, so gosh, that's so difficult. I mean, how are you going to get out of this situation? What can you do? Because you've done this pre-work, they're in a better position to come up with some sort of answer. Obviously, go back to the first step of all that, if that was more comfortable for you, but explore the other ones. Explore how that changes for you. If someone comes to you with a particular problem, don't fight back with positive if they're coming back with more negative. Get alignment. A side next to them. Think of it physically in that sense of how you're helping to see it through their eyes, but then looking to them, get them to break that rigidity of thinking and bring some other solutions in. I'm not trying to overwhelm them, trying to assist them and open their thinking. So try it out. As always, it's a tactic, a strategy. Hopefully it works for you, and I'll certainly catch you next time.